Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Captain Shaq here, and welcome to Aquanox Deep Descent. THQ contacted me and asked me if I wanted to take a look at this and offered to sponsor a video, so we are taking a look. We've been playing this, myself and Tabby. That's her little submarine in front of us. We actually just unlocked that one. Hers is a little more tankier than mine, and I think mine's a little bit more maneuverable as we're starting to unlock some of the kit, gear, and equipment. So let's talk a little bit about what this game is. It just dropped over on Steam. There's a link in the description if you want to check it out. Well, first, the game is co-op. We are actually playing through the campaign, myself and Tabby, going around looting things, upgrading our vehicles, but it is 4-player drop-in, drop-out co-op, and there's just not enough co-op games coming out right now. It also has multiplayer in a versus mode, so you can team deathmatch dogfight underwater. Definitely gives you kind of the old Descent vibes from the early, or I guess from the mid-90s. Kind of a classic game, but it's not as like fast-paced or kind of quaky. Here I am doing a little scanning and grabbing a little bit of loot. You do find crafting material and then money that you can use to stop into different bases throughout the world and buy and upgrade your craft. Story is fairly linear. It's got a made for sci-fi vibe to it. It's got the same kind of style writing, which might float your boat, might not. We don't mind it. As you can see right in front of us now, we found this living gate. There are like stargates throughout this world that allow you to explore and go into different regions, but this one's a little different. This one seems to be alive, and we're starting to get a little bit of the lore and the mystery for the game. Of course, it's a game with loot, so as always, I'm waiting for Tabby to grab up whatever is on the ocean floor down there. We're gonna use this to make our various weapons. That's kind of what I've been spending all mine on. So in my right hand, I've got a Gatling gun. I can't switch these. In the left is like an energy cannon. I've also brought with me a shotgun, which becomes very useful a little bit later on. There we go. She's finally looted everything, so now it's time to go. I take up my escort position. Our job is to go into one of the other factions' territories using one of these like mega gates.
So far are man-made, small structures. This will be your first experience of a true Senthic gate, a structure connecting entire oceans. Get ready. There may be side effects.
Amazing. That is truly something.
It's magnificent. You called the other gates man-made, so who created these larger structures?
Gods? Angels? Take your pick. We call them Senthics. Without our unseen friends, life would be impossible down here in Aqua.
You're saying non-human entities created these gates? Preposterous. There were no such structures where we were from.
You mean when you were from? A lot can happen in a few hundred years, my friend. Who knows? Perhaps you'll even survive long enough to meet one of the Senthics yourself. Not that anyone ever has.
Enough. The gate's about to open. Brace for entry.
And with that, it's time to go through the gate. And the way it works is once you've gone near one of these gates, you have to wait for the rest of the party to kind of catch up, and then everybody hits go, and we all jump to the new region. I do like this effect. Now, from the gameplay that I've had so far, it's mostly go to the thing, get a little combat in, loot some stuff on the way, eventually get to a base, do a few upgrades. But this is the first time where we get a sense of the mystery of the story.
You are the finest project Nammu has to offer. It is for this reason, and this reason alone, that you will survive the death of our world. Kalen Kamakani, a pirate, a marauder no one thought would ever amount to anything. Here you are all these years later, the leader of an expedition to save the human race. I hope our faith is justified. Nabila Ghazali, a veteran communications expert. Your conscience lost you everything after you refused to fire on civilian targets. But for Project Nammu, for what we are trying to do, it is our greatest asset. Fedor Singh, a scientist. You discovered Project Nammu, the best kept secret in the entire world. Rather than be shot for it, we offered you a job, a way to build a better world.
Whatever humanity has become, remember who you were, and what you might become in time. Save us. Finish what Project Nammu started. Gate transition complete. All systems operational.
Now that we've arrived at the new region, it's time to escort our, I kind of want to say capital ship, capital submarine, to the to the location known as Port Royale, where we're going to try to get some information on someone who may have some answers for us, and that's our main objective.
Got company.
So, continuing to explore, our capital ship actually comes under attack. In Aqua, or at least exploring the world of Aqua, there are a number of kind of like corrupted sea creatures that seem to be corrupted by this nanite green, whatever this weird corruption is, but this is the first time that we fought it directly. It seems like there's these spawning pools that are creating these things, or rock formations that seem to be sending them out, and they impact on your shields and they detonate. Not the most interesting enemy to fight, but I found the idea that we're escorting this large capital ship pretty cool. The mission before this, we actually fought and destroyed a couple of like fuel refineries for one of the other factions making enemies. It was not something that we got to choose to do. There doesn't seem to be a lot of like playing the factions against each other or getting to choose who you work for, at least not yet so far that we're into the game. It's more following the narrative and the linear story and figuring out like where that goes and learning about these other factions. As we continue to explore, we do find where these things are spawning from and get into a little bit of fighting. Destroying the objective with a few of those cluster rockets. I've actually picked up 2 upgrades with this build. I've got my cluster rockets that can fire out and do kind of an alpha strike of damage, and then for the other ability, it kicks up an overshield that I actually had forgotten how to use the key for until a little bit later on, where I just keep pounding it like crazy. Things get a little worse and worse, but eventually we do make it back to the capital ship and start falling into the enemy territory where we get jumped.
ITF are now at full alert. I know we're here.
All right, Mr. Fletcher, all power to forward engines.
Shields critical.
Everyone, full speed ahead.
All detonate, fire!
Now, we're probably not supposed to fight this, and there's actually been a couple of missions where it's just been, hey, just get out and get alive. I've just kicked on my overshield. I'm kind of holding them off a fighting retreat while Tabby is rushing with the capital ship, with the submarine, all the way to the evac point. I'm starting to lose health. I'm using my one-shot shield regen and hull regen, which I now only have 1 shield left. Shield's dropping. They've just failed. I'm starting to take hull damage. They're right behind me. The cab ship no longer can support me with fire. I've had to pop my last shield, and they're still chasing. So these moments are a little bit too far and few between where it actually feels like really scary. Holy crap, gotta go. But when they happen, they're actually pretty fun. We're getting beam weapons from the front end of the ship. It's got turrets you can actually see leveled all over the top of it. If you fly over the ship, you'd notice them. But eventually we do arrive at the gate, and this opens us up to the region that we're trying to get through, and that is Port Royale, a new area that we've never been to that allows us to upgrade our ships and unlock a few more things and get a little bit more of the story. Now, I'm gonna put a little bit of the dialogue on here so y'all can understand how the writing is in this. It's all right. It's not terrible. It's okay. The fact that it has 4-player co-op is probably kind of the saving grace for this, is the combat isn't half bad, and the fact that you get a campaign that is co-op. It is drop-in, drop-out co-op as well, so you don't have to, like, as long as you load up your game, you set it to multiplayer, and then friends can just jump right on in. I'm digging the scale of a lot of these. Like, this is probably the largest building that we've seen so far, and some of the regions are quite large, but there doesn't seem to be a lot of variation. Like, you get into, this is a completely new area. Why does this look so different? Oh, because you're in a completely different ocean. And there's even a bit of dialogue at one point that says this. And it's like, well, yeah, but everything just kind of changed tint. It still has that same level of fog everywhere, that same kind of obscuration. And then this big vault door that leads inside. Once again, I'm waiting for my party to get with me so I can actually go inside. And now we're at Port Royale, where we're going to be able to meet with one of the contacts here and try to find a little bit more information on the man we're looking for that can answer some of our questions.
Excuse me?
I said, what kind of people are you? Tell me something about yourselves.
We're cryos, in search of information and assistance.
Interesting choice of detail. You said you're cryos, as if I'm supposed to feel sorry for you. As if that's all you have to offer me. You didn't even bother to state your request.
Fine. We're looking for a man called Nemo. We heard you might know where he is.
Don't look so worried. Anyway, I'll help you find the man you're seeking.
Thank you. It means...
Not so fast. Nemo is a man with many enemies, and many would gladly see him dead. I need to know I can trust you first. And trust? Trust is earned through action.
What do you want us to do?
Babysitting. I'll explain the details on the way.
And with that, we've picked up our next quest and unlocked a new, well, I think it's a weapon. Actually, no, it's not a weapon. It's one of the abilities that you can use. Now, here's the customization system for your craft, your submarine. Various weapons and cockpit types, shield types. You've got the secondary and primary weapons. You do get 2 weapons that are like attached and gimbal mounted. So there's a decent amount of customization. Top right-hand side is the resource list and what you can craft stuff out of. But that kind of wraps it up for this video, give you an idea of what the game is all about. If you enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel for more sci-fi gaming and modding goodness. Thank you, THQ, for the sponsorship. Interesting game as a deep dive. We don't get enough underwater titles, especially with some exploration, and definitely not enough co-op games. Love me some co-op games. So, all right, everybody, let me know in the comments what you think of the game, and that writing. Indeed. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. I can't wait to read the comments. I will see you all in the next one. Later, everybody.